Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, September 6th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. First up, there seems to be a Google search ranking update going on starting around September 4th and December 5th, and maybe even going on through today. The chatter has died down a little bit, so it seems like it was something yesterday. Definitely a lot of chatter in the different forums. The ranking tools that track these ranking changes also show significant changes, as you can see here by all these charts. Most of them are showing significant changes. SEMrush itself is not. And of course we have our favorite commenter, he's in here somewhere, Bill Lampert, who's basically giving his predictions of what's happening and what's going to happen and so forth. So if you did see any changes in your rankings and traffic from Google, specifically around the 4th and 5th and 6th, it might be related to this, so definitely take a look at that. Google, before that we saw numerous people saying that Googlebot is crawling, or their crawling activity with Googlebot has somewhat spiked. I looked at numerous charts in Google Search Console, the old Google Search Console, for the crawl stats data, and I did see numerous spikes that look like this. Maybe not as significant as this, but this is one of the more significant ones, so I shared it. But there's definitely a lot of chatter around, I don't know, September 3rd or so, earlier this week, around chatter that Googlebot is crawling their sites way more than they should have been. And sometimes people say that happens before a Google update, and after that, a Google update happened. Now, Google said crawling activity has nothing to do with any future Google updates or anything like that, so just keep that in mind. I also published the monthly Google Webmaster report. This is the September edition. So if you're away on vacation for the past month for summer, you can quickly catch up on what happened over the past month with Google, and specifically covered 2 updates in August that were unconfirmed. Google penalizing leasing of subdomains, other link penalties being dished out on manual actions, Chrome, Googlebot upgrading to Chrome 76, including the supporting the tools themselves being supported, and a lot of other things in there around EAT and YMYL and doctors and all this other stuff. So definitely take a look at that if you're interested in seeing what you missed over the past month, or if you just want to do a repeat and kind of review what happened over the past month or so. This was interesting. So John Mueller said in a Hangout, I think on Wednesday, that with MDOT domain names, basically they may show up in Google's desktop searches. So if you have an MDOT, Google might accidentally, on purpose, they know about it, it's kind of like a bug, it's an unstable bug, where Google may show on desktop results your MDOT URL. And this has to do with mobile first indexing, and if you switched over to mobile first indexing, it might be confused. So just keep that in mind. Google's not going to necessarily go ahead and fix it. They do recommend you set up your site as responsive, not MDOT, or use proper redirects so that Google can figure it out. But there are cases where sites are not set up properly and Google's going to be confused by them, and in those cases your MDOT URL might show up in the desktop results. So even if you are switched to mobile first indexing, it is very likely that you will see activity from Googlebot Desktop. So Googlebot Desktop may still, or probably most likely will still, go ahead and crawl those pages just to see and render those pages as a desktop user agent as well as the mobile user agent. In fact, John Mueller said it's probably like for every 2 times Googlebot mobile visits or crawls and renders your web pages, you might see 1 Google Desktop, or maybe it's like every 4 or every 3 Google Mobile, you'll see 1 Google Desktop. He's not sure on the exact ratio, but he definitely says there is a lot of activity from Googlebot Desktop because they want to continue to compare how Google Desktop sees your website versus Google Mobile, at least for the time being, even after you switch to mobile first indexing. So keep that in mind. That's not uncommon. John Mueller released a very nice, concise, and clear video in his Ask Google Webmasters channel, or whatever you want to call it, on how Google picks the canonical URL, the URL they show in search. And he said usually it's by site preference, sometimes by user preference, and these elements, is their URL canonical? Does it have redirects? Is there internal linking is the same? URL in the sitemap file. Google prefers HTTPS URLs, and Google also prefers nicer looking URLs. Keep in mind, even with all of that, Google may not use any of this. So you want to make sure to be consistent as possible. Make sure Google sees one URL in your sitemap file, sees one URL in your canonicals and your URL structure, internal linking, and so forth. Make sure Google only is fed one URL, And the more consistent you are with that, the more likely Google will use the URL that you want them to use. Definitely watch that video if you're interested. It's a nice short video on how that works. Nothing new for most people who are watching this video because you guys are mostly probably all SEO experts. Google said, or launched, this month, in Google Search Console, the ability to verify using auto DNS verification. This works with some DNS providers. I'm not saying who exactly, although Google launched this years ago with GoDaddy and Google Domains and some other registrars. But Google said if they match on a DNS record on a domain name selector, so if you go to verify your domain name and add a property, Google might say, oh, well, we support integration with that, so if you log in there, you can authenticate. This is similar to what Bing announced at Bing Webmaster Tools just a week or two ago around their partnership with Domain Connect. But anyway, Google and Bing are both looking for ways to make it easier for people to verify their websites with Google Search Console and Bing Webmaster Tools. Google launched a new movie user interface in the US on mobile. The interface is kind of like the swipe left, swipe right. You can swipe left, swipe right on shows and movies that you do like, and that would help Google figure out what you do like in the future, and then it will suggest better movies for you to look at. In addition, later that day, Lizzie Harvey from Google, who writes a lot of the developer docs, wrote a new developer doc around movie structure data. This specifically says what Google requires for your property items in your movie structure data or schema. As well as what Google recommends. And specifically, Google requires the image and name. What was recommended is the aggregate rating, the date created, the director, and the review. So definitely take a look at that if you do have movie sites. They're very interesting for you guys to look at that and see what's changing, as well as what you could do in terms of the schema itself. Rand Fishkin from SparkToro went ahead and published his first Google Rankings Factors survey since he left Moz. Moz used to publish it every 2 years or so, and then he left Moz and Moz stopped doing it, so he did it his own, and he published it. Surveys are great. They tell you basically what SEOs think Google's rankings are. 1,500 plus people review these rankings. The most interesting part of me is he actually plotted, based on how SEOs classify themselves in the survey, if they're experts or not, how that differs from people who say they're not experts or not. It was very interesting. Definitely take a look at that. I'm not going to comment more on it. Just take a look at it. It's nice to see. I wouldn't play too much weight into your day-to-day SEO based on those results. Google My Business has launched is removing the distance-based service areas. They started this back in last November. Basically, if you're a service level business, they want to assign you a name. So if you're in New York and you do, plumbing, they want to basically say, your closest area might be, Westchester or whatever it might be in New York. So Google's no longer saying, give us a zip code. They're going to actually go ahead and assign you to a specific city name or location name. They're going to review it with you. They're going to send you an email when they make that change. So if you are a service level business, keep an eye out for your email because Google might go ahead and assign you a area name. Also, on that level, Google My Business now lets you manage your profiles directly in search. So if you do a search for something and it's related to maybe the profiles you manage, Google will say, oh, you have all these profiles you can manage. You can view the profiles and manage them. I don't see this myself, but there are a lot of local SEOs that are saying they are seeing this. Google Local Search in the Maps results. So if you go to Google Maps, you do a search for something local related, like SEOs in, New Orleans, Google's no longer showing pagination. I'm not sure if there's a bug or a feature, but you can see here's the before. It used to show you the ability to click to the next page. And now it doesn't show you anything. It just says looking for something else. So I'm not sure if it's an infinite scroll change or a feature change or a bug. I'm not sure what it is, but something's going on. The Google Hotel results now show you the distance to the attractions that you're looking to go to. So for example, here is a search result that shows, I'm looking for hotels near Coca-Cola World, and it will show you, all right, this hotel is 0.4 miles away, this hotel is 0.6 miles away. I think it's a fairly new feature. I think I did see this. I always use a nearby feature. I'm always using Google Maps to say what's near this location, that location, either for parking or for hotels or for whatever, or restaurants. So I use that a lot, and it looks like it's now available in hotel search. Also, Google Local could actually show competitors above your local branding. So this is pretty interesting. So this is from Mike Blumenfeld. This is one of his clients, I believe. Barbara Oliver, Buffalo, New York. This is a specific jeweler with the brand name Barbara Oliver. But now it's like, all right, if you don't get that Barbara Oliver local knowledge panel until you have to scroll past this Explore widget, which shows you other jewelers that are competing with Barbara in that area. So it's kind of wild that Google's actually doing this. It's very upsetting to a lot of people. Just keep that in mind. And talking about that, I don't think this new one isn't a big deal. This is specific to people bidding on your domain names. I'm sorry, on your brand names. And this happens all the time. This has been happening for years. And Google has specific trademark policies about what you can bid on and what you cannot. But Basecamp's CEO, Jason Fried, went ahead and put in an ad saying, we don't want to run this ad, but we have to. We're the number one result in the organic results, but this site lets companies, Google.com, lets companies advertise against us using our own brand name. So we're here, a small independent company, not so small to Google, forced to pay a ransom to a giant tech company because they have to pay that. It's probably costing them 5 cents a click or something like that. Of course, when he posted this ad, I'm sure he got a lot more clicks. But in any event, it is kind of funny. At the same time, it does kind of say, why should Google let people bid on other people's trademarks? Google is testing capitalizing URLs in the snippets, as well as not even showing the URL after that. As you can see here, search engine journal capitalized, search engine land capitalized, search engine watch capitalized. It's just funny. I mean, you shouldn't see that. You should just see that. But Google's testing. Google's also testing, not even showing the final part of the breadcrumb, just the root domain name, which is kind of weird. And Google's also this is hilarious. So I think this was basically somebody trying to post something stupid on Eventbrite. So Google Events sources information from Eventbrite and other third-party event management platforms. So somebody did a search, Joe Youngbug did a search for what to do in Dallas tonight. And when he did that search, you can see over here, up came, there's an orgy party to visit in the Omni Dallas Hotel, which I doubt was real. When you clicked on it, it actually had the Eventbrite information with the person's email address and phone number. Supposedly it was sold out, etc. It just shows that there's a loophole to get into this event widget by using Eventbrite or another third party that syndicates to Google Events to show you spammy or adult-related content. Again, I'm not sure if the person intentionally wanted to get into Google Events or they just wanted to go ahead and spam Eventbrite, but it was pretty interesting to see that happen. And finally, I'm switching to a weekly vlog format. So this is the weekly video recap discussing what happened over the past week in search, which I do at my office usually, and just tell you what's going on in the search. And the vlog is happening weekly as well, I think Wednesdays. And I just posted the Marie Hayden's video where we go through and she discusses Google algorithm updates, YMYL and EAT, and also penalties. So definitely take a look at that video. It was a really fun interview. And next week, I should be posting an interview with Mel Carson, who's been in the industry since early 2000, probably before 2000. So it's pretty interesting as well. And if you are interested in doing that, in doing those interviews, definitely sign up. Go to seroundtable.com/vlog, enter your location, and when I visit that location, I will definitely reach out to you to tell you I'm on my way, and hopefully we can set up a time to interview you. And of course, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Gotta say that. Anyone have a great weekend. Again, today is Friday, September 6th. This is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.